Welcome to IROC Business with Confidence, the podcast where passion meets profit without the pressure of a big price tag. I'm your host, Gerry Foster, transformational speaker, certified business coach, trainer, and the CEO behind the mic. In every episode, we dive deep into the heart of entrepreneurship, bringing you stories, strategies, and tips to monetize your passions while maintaining your budget. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or looking to scale up, this is your go-to resource for affordable sales and marketing strategies. Join us as we interview small business experts from around the globe, sharing their journeys, challenges, and the solutions that propelled them to success. IROC Business with Confidence podcast is here to demystify the process of running a successful business on a budget. Get ready to transform your entrepreneurial dreams into reality, one episode at a time. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited that you are here with us for another episode. So welcome back to the IROC Business with Confidence podcast, where today we are thrilled to present a special episode to you all with renowned brand strategist, Gerry Foster. Gerry. I said it right. Gerry Foster, known as the Branding Evangelist, with a career that has transformed over 100,000 small businesses across more than 600 industries, guys. He brings the art of big branding to the entrepreneur world, from his early fascination with branding to becoming a pivotal figure for consultants, coaches, and service-based entrepreneurs. His journey is nothing short of inspirational. Today, he shares his wisdom on creating distinctive brands that not only stand out, but also provide exceptional value, make a significant difference, and generate substantial income. Join us as we dive into the secrets of branding success. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Corey. Well, listen, I am hyena happy and peacock proud to be here because I am a big fan of you. You're a rock star.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. So guys, a little bit of backstory. We met at least a month ago when I was lucky enough to get picked to be on his amazing podcast. By the time this comes out, look, I'm going to link his podcast too, because y'all, I was over there sweating. He asked some amazing questions. He has an amazing audience over there, and I knew I had to get him to come over to the IROC world to share his amazing expertise. So I'm just honored that you could fit us in your schedule. So thank you for coming over here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Well, I'm excited, guys. I told you this season we were going to set our sights on the biggest, the baddest entrepreneurs out here in the game, people that really have years of experience, people who know what they're talking about and who have proven results to support you and your small businesses. So I'm excited that today we're going to be talking about branding. But before I ramble on, I'm going to give him an opportunity to share a little bit about him and also let us know about your journey into entrepreneurship. What got you started?
Oh, absolutely. Well, in terms of what I do and all that sort of thing, I'm what's called a brand strategist as opposed to a brand designer. And as you know, Corey, when you hear the word branding, what most people associate with that word is, logos, design, pretty colors, photography, and all the visual stuff. And so I do what people like to say is the hard stuff, which is helping you determine what makes you unique and what makes you special and how are you distinguishing yourself and what's your message and what's your promise and what problems do you solve? What value can you deliver that no one else can, and on and on and on. And so my background is I went to USC, undergrad, grad school, Marshall School of Business, majored in marketing, deep studying in branding, earned 2 degrees, my bachelor's degree, my MBA degrees, with honors, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to work for Procter & Gamble, P&G. Now, Corey, I'm sure you know this, but P&G is the #1 branding company on the planet, right? I mean, they wrote the book on branding. And so I worked at P&G in strategic branding and brand management, helping to grow some of their laundry brands. And I worked in the juice and drink industry for a few years. And I started my brand development and training company full time, probably before you were born, back in 1985. And the reason I share that, Corey, is because I read an article once which said that the average American changes their job 10 to 15 times in a lifetime. And Corey, I've never done anything but branding my entire adult life. I live and breathe branding. I love all things branding. And so when people Google me and they come across me online, what they often realize is that, whoa, people say that Gerry Foster is a bona fide branding guy, the real deal. And so that's kind of my story.
Yes. I love how you just listed all the accolades. I was like, oh, he just has more. And guys, I have notes here upon notes. He didn't even mention everything. He's also a contributing author to the Game Changer book, Volume 7. He's currently a professor. Where are you?
Well, I was an adjunct professor for 10 years
professor
at 4 universities. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. You said 4 universities. He just throws it out there. I'm like, little on me.
That was years ago.
But you did start your business before I was born. I was born in 88. I don't mind people knowing my age. But there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes the newer generations like, oh, I don't want to work with people that, are older, but there's so much wisdom, so much trial and error. And the fact that you have been able to last and be relevant over decades is absolutely amazing.
Well, with seniority comes wisdom. That's what I tell people.
Amen. Definitely. And I know you know your stuff. And I was looking over some of the notes that my team gave me about you. And I came across this thing, the big brand formula. And I was like, what is that? It's not a term I've heard before. So can you explain a little bit about maybe some core principles of what this big brand formula is and how small businesses can utilize it?
Oh, absolutely. I created the big brand formula in 2014, although it was 30 years in the making. And it's designed to show small business owners, particularly those of you who offer any kind of expertise, any kind of skill, talent, or ability, the so-called quote unquote experts crowd, the coaches, the consultants, and other service-based entrepreneurs, how to create a big brand and a strong message that sells. So you can do 3 things: excite, delight, and ignite your market and make it a lot easier to get clients. And I'll tell you this, Corey, people really appreciate my system because when you are trying to put together a brand that allows you to stand out and not blend in, you have to go about that in a very systematic, structured, step-by-step manner, as opposed to throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks. And so what my system does is that it allows someone to really nail down their uniqueness so that we can amplify their uniqueness and therefore magnify their impact.
Wow. I love it. Excite, ignite, and delight. I love it. And I love that you talked about standing out. And the cool part is this doesn't usually happen on the podcast because usually I'm meeting people a little bit before and I haven't got a chance to see their work in action. But I got to meet one of your clients. And when I tell you, I see the difference. Most of the time in our marketing side of my business, people come to me and they're like, I think I want to talk to these people and maybe, and it's all these kind of unknowns. She was like, I know this because I've worked with the Branding Evangelist. I know I'm clear. I have a clear direction. It was a breath of fresh air as a marketer to have somebody come in ready to go. And I think small business owners don't understand how important, like you said, that hard work is. Really understanding at the core what it is you're trying to do and how you're going to stand out in the marketplace. Because a lot of times people are trying to just, let's be honest, copy other people. Oh, it looks like it's working over here. Let me go do that. Oh, look it over there. Let me go try to do that. And it's like, no, who are you? What sets you apart? So I love that people who work with you are very clear. They are
I appreciate you saying that because a lot of the work that I do, particularly in working with quote unquote experts, like I said, thought leaders, coaches, consultants, and the rest, is helping them find their voice.
Yes, absolutely.
They don't know who they are. They know what they do. But knowledge alone is not going to bring home the bacon. And so what's happening in today's environment is that you have a lot of folks out there who just want to tell people how skilled they are and how good they are at what they do. However, the key today is to let a potential client know that you can provide a level of quote transformation where you can help them achieve what it is that they've been looking for, and to literally turn their situation around, solve those pressing problems, perform miracles in their minds. I mean, there's so many points of value that the client is looking for. And so it all starts with, okay, if you got to find your voice, the first thing you have to do, Corey, is what? Disrupt and rise above.
Okay, now you better preach.
Come on now. That's why they call me the Branding Evangelist, because I preach and teach the gospel of big branding. Come on with me, Corey. And
Mhm.
so if you are out there in the marketplace, especially, Corey, in today's environment where there are countless websites, zillions of folks online, you have to rise above the crowd, because in the eyes of your buyer, you are up against, quote unquote, everyone seems the same. You're in this sea of sameness, as they say. And so the first thing I do is I help them find, where is your opportunity? Where can you plant your flag? Where can you be known for something that is fresh, unique, and original that the world has never heard or seen before?
Y'all better have a pen and paper ready. He preaching now. Get your pen and paper ready, because y'all know me. Y'all don't even realize after these episodes are recorded, I go back and write additional notes because I like to stay in the moment. But if you're not writing this information down, what are you doing? Because he's giving you the secret sauce. He's telling you how to start the process of standing out in the crowd. He's telling you how to focus on your brand. Y'all better stop playing with this man and go
But
ahead
you,
and get information.
but you know what, Corey? But there's a mindset that goes with that.
Okay.
Because these folks that are out there tuning in, you have to embrace that you were born to stand out and not blend in. Because unless you are standing out, then you're invisible.
Yeah.
And one of the worst things that can happen to any entrepreneur is to have a skill, a talent, and ability, a gift of some sort, but no one's paying attention to you. And so part of the big branding work that I do is designed to make sure that we nail down what those unique advantages are that you offer, so we can magnify it. Because when we can magnify your advantages, then we can do what? We can create a ripple effect with your marketing. But so I say all that to say this: if your branding is not right, your marketing is not going to work. And if your marketing is not working, you cannot get paid and make the money you deserve.
And I know we want to get paid, y'all. I know we want to get paid. So you work with tons and tons of clients. What are some of the ways that, clients that you work with have found ways to distinguish themselves in the market? Because I know we're telling people they need to, but can you maybe give us some examples of how others have paved their own way and carved their own space in their industry,
Yeah.
especially for like coaches, consultants, or those expert type of businesses?
Well, as a brand strategist, and another way to think of me is that I'm a brand architect. All right, so I
Okay,
do all
now.
that upfront foundational core work. Right, is to simply ask ourselves, especially the client, what are people looking for from someone like yourself that they presently cannot find? It could be a problem that's going unsolved. It could be that people are looking for better outcomes. It could be that people are looking for some kind of, quote, miracle, perhaps, to occur in their life or their business, or they're looking for some kind of emotional payoff,
Yeah.
meaning that people don't want to feel frustrated or stressed out or worried, all those negative emotions. And so strategically is to ask yourself, okay, where's the gap? Where can you plant your flag to be known for offering something that people presently cannot find? So that you can say to that person, I know you've been looking for A, B, and C, and you've been selling for D, E, and F. Guess what? I got the A, B, and C you've been looking for. And you want to know what else? You can only get it from me. And Corey, that's when we go ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yes, I love that for sure, because people always want to, I feel like they're always trying to figure out like how do I get people to say yes? And that's one of the main ways, is to be the only game in town in the way that you do what you do. And I think that's such great timely advice. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about the idea that they have to transform people, right? And
Yeah.
I love that you said it, because I'm gonna lean in when I say this. Some of y'all are here just selling stuff. Y'all need to do better. Sell some stuff. People are coming to you with a problem and they're looking for a solution. And so when it comes to transformative branding, how could one possibly vocalize or share with their audience how they transform people? So what kind of ways are they putting it in their website? Like, how do they use their brand to convey that they can help the people they want to help?
Sure. Well, part of my big brand formula is helping people nail down what's called their big brand idea. Now, that's a concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically tapping into a basic principle that people, like I was saying earlier, people are not buying your knowledge per se. In fact, you can almost assume that they know you're probably pretty good at what you do. That's not what their issue is. Their issue is, can you give them what they are looking for that they presently cannot find? Okay. And therefore, as a quote unquote service provider of any sort, especially if you're an expert, a coach, a consultant, some kind of service based entrepreneur, perhaps a practitioner or professional type, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to understand that people are not paying for what it is that you do. What they're paying for is what it is that you're going to have show up that they don't think can have occur. So in terms of nailing down that idea, I use a lot of big brand examples that people can relate to. So let's take Tony Robbins. Okay. Now here's this guy who's got this $1 billion, as you know, coaching and motivational speaking empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Tony Robbins is not in the business of marketing and selling life coaching or motivational talks. This guy declared over 30 years ago that his big brand idea, which is another way of saying this is what my brand is quote unquote life on your own terms.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something, Corey, he's never deviated from that. To this day, everything this man does, all his coaching, his courses, his programs, everything still fits underneath that umbrella of life on your own terms. Oprah's on record for saying, I didn't market and sell a talk show. She said, my brand was ladies lead your fulfilled life.
Okay.
The Airbnb guys, there's an interview with them. How did you do it? How could you create a multi-million-dollar business so quickly? Showing people how to rent their homes. And they're like, we're not in the business of home rentals. We're in the business of people belonging anywhere. Now, I could go on and give you example after example, but this is about planting your flag and staking your claim in territory that nobody else is occupying, where you're known for something that speaks to the what's missing for the consumer that they cannot find that they want. And great brands are born that way. You don't go into crowded market space saying the same thing as everyone else, pretty much offering the same thing. Because if you do that, you're allowing your buyer to commoditize you, which means they see you as just another penguin in the flock. You're just another bird in the group. You're just a jar of mail. You're just a carton of milk, right? I mean,
No.
you're blending in. And the moment that happens, you're forced to compete on price and availability. But brands like Nike and Starbucks have shown us that the products they offer are less important than the brands they market and sell. Wow, the brands they market and sell. What does that mean? What it means is that your brand is going to get you known. And then marketing can do its thing to get you found. And then selling will get you paid. Okay. You got to get known, get found, get paid. I call that the golden triangle. And it's a business model that the most successful companies in America, if not around the world, have used for decades, which simply means you nail your brand down first, then you market and sell your brand. It's always branding followed by marketing followed by selling. It's like a three-legged stool. All three legs have to be in place. If one leg is missing, if one leg is wobbly, you're in trouble. But it also suggests, Corey, that one leg is not more important than the other. Branding is certainly not more important than marketing. Marketing is certainly not more important than selling, and selling is not more important than branding. The three have to work together so that they can be integrated properly so that you can have the results and impact that you're seeking in the marketplace. And so what happens for a lot of folks today, honestly, especially the target audience that we're talking about, is that they get enamored with the bling bling, the shiny objects of marketing. Ooh, ooh, ooh! I need a funnel. Ooh, ooh, ooh!
Mhm.
I need to run a contest. Oh my God! You don't even know who you are. You're telling folks what you do, but who are you? Have you uncovered your voice? Have
Wow.
you nailed down that special thing that you do? Have you tapped into your zone of genius? Are you leveraging what comes easy to you that's probably hard to most others so that you can flip the script and turn the tables in your favor? And that's the kind of work I do.
Woo, I feel like I should have had the organ playing. You know, you be in church like, dum, 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 do you have branding? Dum, dum, do you have marketing? Dum, dum, sales? Like, I'm like, pass the collection plate. Pass the collection plate. The doors of the church are open. The doors of the church are now open. Go ahead. I'm sitting here like, I don't even know what else I want to ask because I'm just over here like, okay, where is my three-legged stool?
Preach!
Y'all know I'm crazy, but that's I don't know if it may be a mental illness. I don't know, but that's literally how I hear stuff. I'm listening. I'm just like, y'all. If y'all are watching, you probably can see me just shaking. I'm like, yes, preach on. This is such good information. Now, I will say this. I think that everything you said is spot on. However, I know there are people that are going to be listening now that's like, oh crap. I've been in business for all these years. I've apparently been doing it the wrong way. I'm making all these mistakes. Like, how do I get back on course? Because they already done spent money on the website. They already done bought the logo. They already got the funnel built. They've already drank the Kool-Aid of all the sparkly objects and the coaches and stuff. How do they?
And they come limping to me with little puppy dog eyes on my. And Corey, I hear all the horror stories. Oh my God, I spent all this money on coaches. Oh my God, I spent all this money on marketing. It doesn't work. And I go, it's because your branding is off. But wait a minute, Gerry, I got a logo. Gerry, I got a website. Gerry, don't you love my colors? What's the problem? Oh my God, you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand what a real brand means. I tell people, no one's going to hire you because of your image. Let's take Coke and Pepsi. I doubt the Coca-Cola people prefer Coke because it's in a red can, and the Pepsi people because it's in a blue can. That's what's inside the can that counts. So the question is, what's inside your can?
Okay, now. Dum, dum, dum. You know, I'm like a fool every time. What is in your can? Look, we got to get that on the screen, y'all. What is That's the next big keynote. What is in your can?
You're out of sequence. Yeah, they're putting the cart before the horse.
Yes. But I'm assuming that after you listen to them cry, whine, and say, woe is me, you still can help them, right?
Oh, yeah,
we can always go back and we can clear that up. So
I'm sorry, Corey. Let me clarify, because I do a lot of rebranding.
Awesome.
People come to me a lot of times. They don't have a brand, and we're creating it from scratch, or they have a brand, at least I think they do. And we do what's called rebranding. You probably heard that word before. Big companies rebrand all the time, which simply means you are retooling, reimagining, re-engineering, revamping what you have so you can stay ahead of the curve. It doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. It's more about what's missing, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I do is I help identify the missing pieces of the puzzle, and then we put the puzzle together.
I love that. So there's still hope for you guys. Don't worry. He's here for you. He's going to help you out. Don't worry. Don't cry. Put the tissues away. I love it. I had to bring that in because I was like, I know people have already started, and a lot of the things we're talking about, truthfully, should have been the fundamentals. They should have been there at the beginning. But we know people don't know what they don't know. Not everybody has all the years of schooling and the accolades that you have to to learn all this. And so yeah, they may have miss some things.
Hey, Maya Angelou said it best. People would do better if they knew better.
And would. Because I know I didn't know so many things as a new entrepreneur. I always tell people I got into entrepreneurship in a very untraditional sense. I just kind of got thrown into it, and like a baby trying to swim, I just kind of figured it out. But I love that there are people like you, and I hope that because we have podcasts like this, and I know you're all over the place doing things, that they get to hear, before they spend all the money and waste all the time, they can hear, hey, get your house in order. Get your house in order. It's like building a house. You got to get that foundation.
See, now you preach it now. Now you preach it.
Now, hold on. Look, I'm not an evangelist. Can I be a deacon? Can I be a deacon? Let me get up here in this pulpit. Let me get my sweat rag. Hold on now. Hold on now. You know,
Oh gosh.
we got to get the foundation. And I know that this work doesn't sound exciting or fun. You're not hearing, make $1 million in 90 days. But guys, this is the stuff that's going to sustain your business. This is going to make you to be able to have a strong core, a loyal fan base, and be able, like you said, make the money. Because we're gonna talk about it. We want to make the money. So I love this.
Because a lot of what I do is making sure that your brand has this. It's like working out, okay? Mm-hmm. Making sure your brand has the strongest body, voice, and spirit possible, so that then you can feed it into your marketing machinery to do what? Bring your body to life, right? Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and now put the legs on it so that you can now do the right kind of marketing, all the brilliant things that you excel at, Corey. So you can rise above the clutter, stand out, get noticed, be remembered, all of that stuff. And all of a sudden it's coming together.
Yes. And I love how you said that, because even though it's the three-legged stool, please take care of this branding first, y'all. It is so hard to market. Sometimes I have to tell people, you're not ready. You're not ready, because they just don't have it together. You guys, please take care of the branding stuff first. Have that clarity, have that understanding. So when you go and work with any marketer, or if you're marketing by yourself, that you have the information you need to be able to effectively and successfully market your business.
And make sure, if you're talking to market people, that they have the right level of integrity. Because the reality is, a lot of marketing folks won't tell them what it is that you and I are talking about, because they don't want to lose the sale.
That's true.
And there's a lot of that out there. I mean, they're pushing stuff that people are not even ready for. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, they put them into this one size fits all, plug and play kind of marketing campaign, whatever. And most times it doesn't work because it's not anchored in fertile soil. And so part of what I do is helping my clients recognize that, hey, great brands don't sprout up on their own. They got to be rooted first in fertile soil. So a lot of what I do with my clients, quite frankly, is I'm going to make sure you eat your vegetables.
Yes, grow nice and strong, become a big boy. But I like that you said that, though, because it's true. And I think people don't realize it. They think, okay, I'm seeing this ad for whatever, that if I go do these things that I'm going to be successful. But you're right, they may not be ready, and it may not be the right situation for them at this time. And I always tell people, like, you need a coach, but you need the right coach at the right time. You need to know what you need from them, because people are always like, just like you can be church hurt, you can be coach hurt, you can be consultant hurt, because you're out here investing in, like you said, everything that's shiny, and you're not where you need to be.
And I'll add to that, have the right team, because now it's all about having the right team. You put Gerry Foster on your team. You put Corey Fonville Foster. Hey, we may be related, by the way, on this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you want to run a championship, it's like sports. You got to have the key people in the right position.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
I mean, my God, I've grown a little cynical over the years about this topic. But it's just, oh my, I have a video from a client I got last year. She starts out the video telling people she spent over $100,000 on marketing stuff and coaches that produce very little of anything. She said she got more from me in just a couple of sessions, as opposed to all the thousands of dollars that she spent. So that's the kind of work that I do. Okay.
Yes, I know I get something out of it every time I hear you talk. Not to mention, I've been kind of stalking your podcast, and I've been on your YouTube channel. I'm like, let me get this free information, because I have enjoyed everything that I've heard. Everything you said has been spot on, but also it hasn't been so in the air that I can't grasp it. I'm very much like, just tell me what I need to know. And you're like, look, this is A, B, C, D. This is simple. And I love that even though some of these things are complex, you make it so easy to digest. because I don't have time to be pulling out a thesaurus and Googling all the extra things. Like, just help me. And so I love that, like I said, even though some things are complex and they have, pieces, you do make it so easy to digest this information and then progress. Because I'm about implementation. Don't just tell me the theories. Tell me what can I do, and you are amazing at that. So I love how you coach. It's like, oh yeah, this is my kind of jam.
Thank you.
Oh, y'all know we up here cutting up. I can't help it. But look, and I'm always that darn. I knew I was gonna look at the time. Like, I try to keep these at 30 minutes. So y'all know he already said he started this back when the dinosaurs roamed. So we ain't gonna talk about everything.
These are wearing sandals.
I know, like we ain't gonna be able to talk.
And everybody, I was 10 years old with a lemonade stand, okay?
Okay. But we will, as always, don't let this be the last time that you connect with our amazing guest, because there is just so much more that he has to offer. Shout out to his podcast. Definitely go check that out. I will link it below because, of course, I'm on it. But also, he has tons of amazing experts coming on, and he drops gems in every single episode. It's absolutely amazing. But before we go, because I'm gonna let you close us out. Can you let us know, one, how they can find you, but also, a birdie told me that you got a little giveaway, like you got a little free something something.
Yes. Well, yes, I do. Well, first off, you can find me on all the big four socials: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Gerry Foster Branding, Gerry with a G, as opposed to Gerry with a J, because my birth name is Gerald, so it's Gerry with a G, as opposed to Gerry with a J if it were Jerome, right? I suppose I have a nickel for every time I've said that to people, okay? And so that's the key thing. And then my YouTube channel is Gerry Foster Branding, okay? And my free giveaway, Corey, is if you go to GerryFosterBranding.com/captivate, I would like to give everyone one of my most popular free training programs called Stand Out and Captivate. It's 1 hour long. It's about 7 videos, bite-sized kernels, covers a lot of what we've been talking about, comes with worksheets so you can apply what you learn. And included with that, Corey, is a free brainstorming session with me. Yes.
Ooh.
Where I will do a complete audit of your brand, take a look at what's going on, give you some feedback. We'll jump on a Zoom call, kick around some ideas. And here's my promise. I will not try to sell you anything. That's not what I do. Okay. I sow, I give, and put things into your life that matter. Okay. Because that's another thing that bothers me, Corey, which is that people make offers and then they just want to do a sales pitch. Not with me. I don't need to do that. So for those of you who are tuning in, take advantage of my program, Stand Out and Captivate. Again, GerryFosterBranding.com/captivate. Watch the video, go through it, connect with me, and we'll have a 1 hour brainstorming session by Zoom.
Oh my gosh, that is a great offer. And guys, don't worry, if all this information will be in the show notes, so you don't have to another like, wait a minute. No, don't worry. We will put everything in the show notes, and I've already when we get off here, I already got it on my screen, so I can go ahead and get my Stand Out and Captivate, because I love, you said, how to create a brand in 3 easy and fun steps to distinguish you and attract your ideal clients in 60 days or less. That's what I want to do.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So that you're me only and not me too, or me also.
Yes.
So that you're someone who's leading the crowd and not following the crowd. That's a whole nother conversation, which is, are you willing to go against the flow? And that's what people are looking for. People want someone who's the quote next best thing, which basically means that you can bring something into their life that they presently cannot find, that they've been looking for. They're out there ready to grab and are ready to give you money.
Please give me money. Like, if people don't want to say that, but please give me money. Yeah, we got to keep the lights on over here. We got bills to pay.
And see, that's another thing. One more thing, because part of my branding, the big branding work I do, is making sure that you're able to attract high ticket clients who will pay you the fees you deserve. So if some of you are out there talking to prospects and they say no, or they want to bargain shop you, it's because you haven't established enough value for what you offer. And that value has to be what? Unique value, meaning they can get something from you and only from you that is going to give them exactly what it is they're looking for.
Well, look, that's the word. That's the end. That, like I said, the doors of the church are now open. If anybody wants to go ahead and come to the front, you can. Just look, tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, walk with me. Just come on down. Come on down. But yes, guys, thank you for checking out this amazing episode. This was so fun. Like, I
Oh
enjoyed
my
it.
God, this is the most fun I've ever had on a podcast interview. You are awesome. You are great. You really are. And I want to acknowledge you as a younger person for quote unquote getting advice and input from someone who's over 40, right? Because a lot of the younger generation, they think folks like me are old school, passe, over the hill, right? So really, I want to acknowledge you because we have experience and wisdom that we can pass on.
Pass it on to me, please.
Yeah,
Pretty please.
because I have it, because I've impacted over 100,000 small businesses from over 600 different industries. I mean, it's all on my website. Yes.
I know. I seen it.
I know. And one more thing, Corey, I should mention, because my expertise is how to brand services as opposed to products. That's another big problem. A lot of these folks that are out there who decide to do branding and own their own company, they don't understand that there's a big difference between how you market yourself as a personal brand or a service brand, very different than a physical product. Because of the physical product, people can see, taste, touch, smell, or hear it in advance. When you're branding yourself, you're selling the invisible, you're selling vapor. So what I do is I show you how to take what's invisible and make it visible in their mind as if it were a physical product. And now business comes to you instead of you having to chase after it, because now you are the honey and not the fly, because honey attracts and flies chase.
All right. Well, that is the word for today. If all hearts and minds are clear, then we are going to adjourn for tonight. But guys, again, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the IROC Business with Confidence podcast. Guys, remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, do all the things, and check us out. We have an episode that drops every single week with other amazing guests. Now, they might not be as fun, I'll admit, but definitely check out our other episodes. And guys, remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock. And we'll talk to you next time. And that's a wrap on another episode of IROC Business with Confidence podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining our journey into the world of entrepreneurship. If today's episode inspired you or just gave you the tools to tackle your next business challenge, we'd love your support. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, and rate us with a glowing 5 stars. And don't forget to leave us a review. Are you an entrepreneur with a unique perspective, expertise, or actionable strategies that our audience can implement today to advance their entrepreneurial journey? We're always on the lookout for guests who are ready to share their stories and insights. If that's you, please reach out to us. Remember, entrepreneurship isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. And here at IROC Business with Confidence, we're here to journey with you. Until next time, keep rocking your business with confidence. We can't wait to see where your entrepreneurship journey